Welcome to Bloodbath & Beyond. Today we review Freaked, but ugly, but funny.
Directed by Tom Stern and Alex Winter, starring Alex Winter, Brooke Shields, Randy Quaid, Mr. T, and William Sadler. This movie's about Ricky Coogan, a cocky actor who's living the high life, and he goes for a sponsorship deal with a corporation that might not be doing necessarily the best things for the planet.
I heard that shit's lethal.
Some protesters don't really like this decision, but he sees a girl that he might like to hook up with a little bit. So he somehow convinces her to get into his car, and they stumble upon a roadside attraction that's a freak show run by Elijah Scuggs, who's actually turning regular people into mutants and showcasing them as freaks at his attraction. Well, Ricky and his friends become freaks themselves, and they need to try and figure out how to get rid of this sponsorship contract and get the fuck out of this whole freak show shit. This is actually a recommendation from Patreon from James Montgomery. It's not necessarily a horror movie, but it has horror elements. It's more of like a comedy from the early 90s and is really strange. While we watched it, we recorded a commentary. Link is in the description to the Patreon. While doing the commentary, we thought like maybe this isn't even supposed to be Freaks. Maybe the recommendation was for Freaks from like 1932. In any case, this is what we watched. What did we like?
I absolutely loved Alex Winter. For those of you who don't know him, he's Bill from Bill and Ted. And in this film, I don't know what it was, whether it was his jet black hair or his Leisure Suit Larry outfits, he was entertaining.
You seem like a regular dumb shit old redneck to me.
He was fun. He was super fucking sleazy. He's exactly like anyone that you would picture playing the main lead in Ghost Dude.
You've got the entire country saying, "Food, dude."
I did appreciate the range of freaks. My favorite is likely Cowboy, because he was literally just a cow who's a cowboy.
The costume and makeup design is fantastic. Like, it actually is. Even to the point with our dog boy. And there's one scene where him and like Alex Winter are actually having like a fight, and he gets a nice clean like gash on his cheek.
And that was actually played by Keanu Reeves. He's Ted. I can't wait for the fucking reboot. I'm so pumped. This movie just brought so much 90s nostalgia back to us. From talk shows like Ricky Lake and Sally Jesse Raphael, because that's kind of like the setting of Beast Boy telling his story. Or having the club on like that steering wheel in a single shot. It's just little things like that that made me appreciate some of the comedy. There's a lot going on. It's very slapstick. It's over the top. And it continuously pushed itself, which was appreciated.
This is definitely like an episode of Family Guy. If something is over the top, they're gonna just be like, no, we gotta crank it up one more level. They're not trying to make like subtle jokes. They're trying to do over the top, stupid gags that you know are nothing but lowbrow and stupid.
I think the highlight is absolutely the special effects. Like all of the makeup work, everyone looked unique. The amount of detail that they put into Sawkand, wow, just incredible.
And they got Bobcat to voice it.
God.
That's a huge up.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it makes a tasty meal.
Shout out to Worm Guy. That suit would have been the worst fucking suit to wear in all of existence. I know I've heard Kane Hodder bitching about like Victor Crowley's suit, but Worm Guy,
He can't even wipe his own butt.
I'd sell my soul just to be able to wipe my own ass.
maybe he has a little dick hole so he can pee at least.
If we're gonna talk about all the freaks, Frog Boy was hilarious too, because it was just a guy in a scuba suit.
Even through all the weird humor, there are a lot of really funny moments.
The funniest moment is when they're telling the stories of what they were before they were a freak, and like everyone has their turn, and you just see this hammer on the ground.
You're like, what, this is a thing?
And then it's just a flashback of a wrench being bought by Skunk. I thought that was the funniest moment. Later on, they play reference to it. There's a little hammer that's just like a milkman.
That was, honestly, I burst out. I couldn't with that. That was the greatest thing. I don't know, there's so many good situations for how shitty this movie is to me. Mr. T didn't even really have a throwback moment, just a little one. But it's very progressive. This is 1993.
No questions. You know, you'd be better off without a dick.
First trans person probably that I ever watched in any movie. And shout out to the I cops, the FBI. I don't know what they called them. Those were the best.
This film was perfect for Randy Quaid. He was entertaining, and he definitely fit the role of crazy mad scientist. Oh, and Toad Man.
Yeah, he's kind of legit.
If we had to see Toad from X-Men versus Toad from Freak, this guy would definitely destroy that Toad. I mean, I love Ray Park, and he's badass, but I feel this guy could beat him.
Wait, Ray Park was Toad in the other one?
Yeah.
Like Darth Maul?
Yeah.
Man, I wish I knew that. I would have made a joke in the commentary. I was already talking about Star Trek and Doctor Who.
We got on a big Winona Ryder kick.
That was because there was a singular Winona Ryder reference that sparked a conversation for 8 minutes. Commentaries, they're wild. We're really driving home the point that you should check out our Patreon specifically because of this freak commentary. But we've got like almost 20 maybe? What didn't we like? I hated the comedy, mostly. There are moments that I thought were hysterical, but I don't know if I attribute that to my alcohol consumption because this is movie 2. Like when we shoot, sometimes it's just one movie, sometimes it's 2 or 3 movies. Movie 2, I always appreciate more. We start off with any movie, it starts here. The third movie is gonna be way up here. This is an exception. The drunken level is surely in the middle here, but my likes are way down here. Like, I don't fucking like this kind of comedy. Most of the gags are physical slapstick nonsense. I also didn't like some of our freaks, specifically the Pinhead girl. Hated her. I hated the farting guy.
I completely agree with a lot of the freak characters when it comes to being a little too over the top. The Pin Girl was the worst. Like, she wasn't even on for long, and I just couldn't stand her being on screen.
Also, Bobcat. I like the sock puppet, and I think that's a cool and funny character to have, especially when he dies. Rip. Pour one out for your hand. But I hate Bobcat, and I hate his voice.
It's really hard to come up with a dislike because what is bad is what makes this film good. And that is a big problem. A lot of the humor is bad, and it should be in this dislike section. But because of the style of the film, it's also entertaining. The characters, they're not good, but it fits with the film. It's just...
I know. It's intended to be this way. And whether or not you like it or not, I think they nailed what they were going for.
And that's the thing. It's tough because, like, it's like parody films or stuff by, like, Mel Brooks or, like, the Farley brothers. Like, you know what you're watching isn't necessarily good, but damn it, they're doing it right. It's like, you're gonna watch this, and you're gonna watch The Garbage Pail Kids, which came out, like, around the same time. I get it. It's the 90s. This is what the humor was. This is what people wanted to watch when they went to the movies.
We liked puking back in the day. Check out Problem Child. Yeah, I think we need to move on to our final thoughts and ratings. This is a weird movie to review because it nailed what it wanted to be, but I didn't necessarily like it. I really thought that Alex Winter crushed his role. I think a lot of characters did that. I really like the special effects, the makeup, and the costume and the creature design. It's very cool, and it's reminiscent of the early 90s. Back in the MTV days, it was all about slime and puking and Gwar-style graphics, and this encapsulated that. However, I didn't love all of the comedy. There are some fun meta jokes, and those are what I appreciated the most, where the slapstick stuff, which made up the bulk of the film, I didn't necessarily enjoy. But as a whole, I did enjoy myself somehow. I don't know if it was because we were doing a commentary. Watching this by myself, I would absolutely hate. I would turn it off within 1 second when I realized there was a guy that just farts non-stop. That isn't the case. The production value was good. Some jokes were funny, the characters were enjoyable to an extent, and I like the concept because it's so basic and stupid. So I'm gonna give this 2-headed cocks out of 5.
I love the slapstick humor. I find the over-the-top nature to be very entertaining. I liked all of our characters except for one, and that was the Pin Girl. Like Jay said, I wouldn't necessarily want to watch this by myself, but to actually watch it with someone else and talk about it makes this film even more entertaining. I felt Alex Winter nailed it both as an actor and a director in this film. Randy Quaid did a great job, and the costume and makeup effects were fantastic. If you haven't seen this movie and you grew up in the 90s, you have to check this film out. It is a great throwback. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 3.5 awkward threesomes out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and Beyond. And also, if you want the opportunity to recommend a movie to get reviewed, oh, that was awkward. And if you want to listen to the commentary if we haven't plugged it enough, also check out the Patreon.